Good morning, everyone. This is Vicki, and I have a project that I have completed, and it's not a artist trading card. That is ongoing. This is a side project that I thought I needed to do. So I'm going to go through the process here of how I came to make this because I have been still looking at some things related to sewing. And I saw a channel, Jerry Bellini, who's here on YouTube, and she is making some quilts and different kinds of things with slow stitch, and she does uses her late mother's clothing and makes quilt pieces and makes them into quilts. And she does on her artwork, also her mother's artwork, she puts on there as well. And so I thought that is just beautiful. And then she showed some other pieces that she's had made in the past, and they were the little quilt pieces. And it was put together with blanket stitch, I believe. And then she had put them together and made this kind of notebook or a journal, or it's a cover for whatever you want. And I thought that is a terrific idea. I sent a message over to her, a comment, and said that was such a good idea. I'm very interested in making one of those because of the time that I have is a lot of times in the car. So I in the car because I'm Grandma Uber, and I take all my grandchildren, drop them off, and sit and wait in the car until they're finished with their basketball or done with their classes. They have art. They have not art classes that I would love, but they have math classes, and these are extra outside of school, and debate classes, and they have agility, which is weight training classes. So yeah, my grandson is oldest one is 12, and him and his younger brother, they do all these different things. And so I'm in the car a lot. So I was telling her that, and she replied that idle time drives her crazy. And the keyword idle got to me. That was a keyword that just got to me, like, yes, I have a lot of idle time in the car because once I get there, it's too far to go home. And it's sometimes 2-hour classes, and then, there's 1 hour class here and there. And so I have a lot of time there that I could be doing something. So I thought I would do that needle type of quilting to make it into a book that I could use. I could utilize that for maybe my DTs, my not DTs, my artist trading cards, so I can put them into that. So I thought that's an idea. So, but first I need a needle book, because the one and only needle book that I made 4 years ago, I gave it to my wonderful friend Marilyn G. And it came up on my YouTube when I was looking for needle books to review needle books, what would work for me. And so I'm surprised that my needle book has 10,000 views. I could not believe that. But anyway, I made it with vintage fabrics, and I love using vintage fabrics. And so I thought I would use some vintage fabric, number one, and then I thought I'd use this fabric here, which is Japanese. The vintage store I got this from, it's a vintage market actually. The lady said that it's Japanese. Maybe it's a silk printing, because this is silk. And so she had this one panel, and so I thought maybe I'll use this piece, but it's kind of fraying, and you can see it's very fragile, and there's pieces that are broken, a lot of pieces. So I thought maybe I could somehow repair those and use this, but I would take a lot of thinking of where I want to cut it and how, because I only have this one piece. And so I thought, you know, I'll do this at another time. So when I was looking for all my different fabrics through them, I came across this something called a Cindy, Chindi, or Shindy rug, which I bought at the below five below store. I actually ordered it because they didn't have any in stock. So I ordered one, and it's 5 by 3, and I took it apart, and you get tons and tons. I mean, bags and bags full of these. I sorted them by color, but look at how much. I mean, you can't even imagine how much that is. So there's these colors, there's blues, there's greens, there's turquoise, there's burgundy, and there's some that are, you know, some prints. So there's some prints in here, and none of these did I want to, no pinks, no pastel pinks. None of these do I want to make that out of. And so, but I found one piece. Yes, wonderful, wonderful, one piece. And so here it is. This is the piece I found. Okay, so in the history of this, why I decided this shape, let me just put this aside and show you the my pattern. So I looked at a lot of videos, and I came across this one that's called a housewife, 18th century housewife sewing kit, I believe it is, but they used to just call it a housewife or a hussif, Hussif. And if you look that up, the housewife, you will see that it says, you know, the normal thing of a partner or wife that takes care of the house and things within the house. And the second definition mentions this needle book, sewing kit. And so I thought that's interesting. So this is called a housewife. So I made a pattern of what size that I thought I would want it to be, and it generally it's just 3 pockets. There'll be 3 pockets, and then it is rolls up this way, of which I have made a lot of paper things like that, actually. And then it has this type of, which how I made that was the a cup, a saucer, a teacup, and I put it upside down, inverted it, and just wrote, you know, put there. And then I have a 1/4-inch selvage, or is it called selvage? I forget now my sewing terms. So anyway, I did a 1/4 of an inch for the side, and then I decided I'm going to make it like my aunt used to always make a dress with her own pattern, and then she would just use a piece of muslin or some inexpensive cloth, and then she would just make the whole thing out of that first and see if it fit. And then I thought, okay, I'll do that also. So I got 2 of these and put it together, and I cut it to this size, and then I just decided to sew it on the outside to see how, you know, how I would do that. So I did make it out of this lightweight muslin first, and then I got my fabric and put it over, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to get some batting, and I didn't even need to, you know, make a pattern. You can just kind of cut a piece of fabric, the rectangle and the size you want it, and you can even just roll it up. I want to show you how you could roll it up and do it that way. So you just cut it out and then sew the edges. And this is what I did was, let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So I had two pieces actually that was just right size. And so I put them together and I sewed them together. This was a piece that was just with this part, and then there's a shorter piece that I saved from the other edge of the piece. And so I sewed this by hand over it. Okay, so there's a long piece on each side, and I machine stitched it all the way around, and then I put this on top, and I just did a hand stitched this all the way across this way. And I left the raw edges because I like shabby chic, and I think I just like that because this is, pretty raw kinds of organic type of piece that, it's a used fabric, and then you just put it together, right? So, in fact, I wanted to save these pieces to look at, because what I did was I used I could just lift this up without the pins. I just sewed it on top, hand stitched it, so that I can see their stitching on here. And so it comes across, this is folded over. You can see my the other piece, and this is put on top, and yet you could see the the original piece all the way down. So I really like to see that, which, let me tell you, it reminds me of a movie I just saw about a Japanese term that is it is called, I think I wrote it in here, it's called konsugi, or kintsugi, Kintsugi, kintsugi. And so it is broken china that they glue together, and to celebrate it as a once perfect piece and now a new broken piece put together. So I guess they celebrate that, and I did write it in my little book, The Japanese Art of repairing broken pottery by mending the areas of breakage with urushi lacquer, dusted or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. So as a philosophy, it treats breakage or repair as past of the history of the object rather than something to disguise. So, and I just love that idea. So this is a shindy rug piece that I saved from that to look at it as a beautiful fabric. And also, see, you can see I put a piece over here as well, a piece here on there as kind of decoration here for this. This is the scissor that I put in with some vintage ribbon that I frayed to go along with the frayedness of this piece. And then I have one of these that I must need that. I have to think of what I need. Some needles, and I need to thread the needles with this, and then I also need scissors to cut the thread, and then I need the thread. So here is some thread, and depending on the piece I'm working on, those are the thread pieces that I'm going to be putting in here. And I'm sure I'm going to make more, because it's probably the different kinds of needs that I'll have in order to make this. But I thought that was just really fun, because I am preserving an original fabric, and I'm also enjoying it, and I'm also appreciating it. This is from an English idea of a needle book, this type of pattern for the needle book called a housewife, and that's English, and I'm using the fabric that's from India, and I had planned on using the Japanese fabric, but so I have the fabric which is from India in its organic form and made in some way that their purpose was something else. And then I have this vintage button here also. It's just so pretty, goes very well with it. So that is my needle book, and if you have any questions, let me know. You see some pretty little, I did sew it with this, so the stitches are in here that are either this or some embroidery, but mostly this. So this is what this is. I don't know if you can find this. I had this a long time ago, and so that's the piece that I just wanted to share with you, and hopefully this helps you make one also, or gives you an ideas to make your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.